Hello, guys, to everyone. I'm Ada from Poison Rock with Lucia. I'm super excited. We're super thrilled. We are between women, which is the best things ever. And I'm here with the only and the one, Kiki Rockwell. How are
Hello. you? I'm good. Yeah, thank you for having me. It's so exciting.
We are fucking excited. I mean, I'm going to start with the first question. That's, the most common, which is just like how your music journey started, because you're amazing. So I want to know how everything started.
Absolutely. So I've been playing piano since I was, very little, since I was 6. And right in the beginning, I was always obsessed, not so much with learning songs, but creating stories. So I would get my sister and friends to lie on the floor, and I'd turn off the lights, and I would just play really average, but I'd just like tell a story. So I'd just be playing and like, hey, you're in the middle of the ocean, you're floating, and then suddenly like a sea creature, and everyone would be lying there, and it was weird, but we loved doing it. And looking back now, I'm like, oh, I was practicing, using music to tell a story without even knowing. I just wanted to do that. And, I did lessons, but I was never that interested in, doing grades or anything. I was obsessed with stories and narrative. But no one ever grows up thinking being a singer or musician is a job you can do. They're like, okay, choose something real. So I went and I was doing, I was working in advertising, and I hated it. And I was convincing myself, no, this is creative. I'm doing, this is stable. And everyone was, really proud of me and like, wow, it was so cool, a big grown-up job. And I was only like 20. And my dad, he's so real. He's like, I don't know, like, I just think you should do something with your music. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't even, what is that? They said with your art and your music. And I was like, that's not a job. Like, that sounds great. But like, that he's always like, no, like, I just think you should. And he's a psychic. He's a trained psychic. He's the witch of the family. Well, yeah. So
that's where you get it. That's where you get
it. Yeah, he's the witch, like, of my parents, and I was always like, oh, like, okay, that's that's a pipe dream. But I think he always just says what he feels, and then
you felt that
he did, and only now I'm like, whoa, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm like, yeah, he was like, that's not your path, and I'm like, shut up. I went to university. I have to do this now. And then it was end of 2019, and I was in like a stable relationship, the classic early 20s, like, have a long-term relationship. And then it ended really bad. Probably what happened listening to Left 4 Dead. It's and obviously my whole world was turned upside down, and it was a very dark period, and I'd never really been betrayed. I'd never had a breakup. It was just plunged into this like, holy shit, who can you trust,
Yeah.
And my family were like, oh, let's go camping, and I took some time alone, and I went and sat in this big field under this big oak tree, and I was just sitting, and it was like windy, and then this song just literally like came to me. Like I felt like a portal to the song. I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna that. And like I'd never written a song, and it just like, it was like a poem really, because I do love poetry and writing. So just on my notes app, I just started writing all these lyrics, and it was just like, just the whole song just fell out of me. And I was like, whoa, like, is this a song or a poem? But I was like, it was very healing to do. And then I went and looked after my friend's house while she was away for a while. Yeah. House actually, and I was just alone in this little cottage for like a week, just no one else, just me. And some guy lent me an electric guitar. And I play a bit of guitar, but not very well. But I just spent the whole week just trying to learn the electric guitar and make it into a melody and a song. And I just became instantly obsessed with trying to write songs. And then my friend was like, she was playing around in GarageBand, and I was like, what is that? Like, I want to learn that. I remember watching her do it. I was like, what? You can just make beats? Like, what? That's crazy. I thought it was like, you have to like go to study that, and so then I just got GarageBand, which is free on a MacBook, and I just got obsessed with that. And I'm a very obsessive person, so all I wanted to do is learn how to produce. And I just spent the next year really, and then lockdown happened. So New Zealand locked down quite intensely with COVID. So I mean, the whole world did, yeah. But we weren't allowed to see, like, even our family members. It was crazy. It was just, I mean, it was isolation for like a long time, which was for me a really good time because I just spent the whole time.
But I like to be by. I think it was just to be, you know, like by your own and do your own stuff without a lot of people around in the nature. Can be,
just. You know, it's a hard decision. Like, what's my sound? I want it to sound unique, but also like, it's like learning. Yeah, it's like, whoa, you can do anything in the world. Like, what would you do? So yeah, I just got obsessed with producing, and then just through doing it, writing 100 songs, you just start to get your style. And
that's what I mean. You have this unique sound, which is I think, like, I can't really proper say it because
me neither.
Style. I mean, I can say it's folk, it's indie, it's rock. It can't. It's just it's yours. It's like maybe dark folk. I have no idea. It doesn't matter. It's just feminism. It's healing. And really healing, and especially in the, of course, you know, my favorite one is the one that came out in 2023, Ritual on the bank of a familiar river. Before speaking a little about that, of course, you released the first EP. So the first one. So how was that? You know, of course, putting out the first EP. How did you feel it? And I was
putting out the first EP. It was scary. Like, you know, these songs are so personal. And like when I wrote all those songs, I wasn't even thinking about people listening to it, which sounds really selfish, but they were all just for me, you know, for my own healing. And I think, it was scary suddenly being perceived by people because I'm very introvert. And I get anxious, and it's just suddenly like, suddenly people can, and they can,
but me too.
Well, like, just they can judge you, and that as an artist, like, you put things out to be judged, and not everyone's going to like it, and that's good. Like, to me, if you're making something that people either hate or love, I think for my music, people either love it or they're like, what the fuck is that? Which is good. It means you're doing something unique, and you're not, you know. But even with my first EP, I think the songs. I just think even those songs like are a bit more safe, and Same Old. This is funny. So Same Old Energy wasn't actually on the first EP. I almost didn't release Same Old Energy because I was like, this is so weird, and I don't know if anyone's gonna like it because it's like, I don't even know, like, you know. And
I mean, I'm having goosebumps thinking about the song.
And that's the one.
Yeah.
I know, and that was me still thinking like radio and like, you know, the general public. But as soon as I released Same Old Energy, and I'm like, there's other weirdos like me that's gonna get it. That was the moment I was like, I can make the shit I actually want to make. I don't have to try and make like what I think people will like, because I think that's never gonna work. You have to be excited about your own work, like otherwise
it doesn't. And you saw the result, like I was saying on TikTok, people use all your song to make all these reels and TikTok about using your music because you gave inspiration. Because I think that you awake a new kind of teenager. Like this witchy, independent, feminist teenager that's singing for themselves, and that's what I'm seeing, and that's something that I love because everyone can really feel. Because you, like you said, you spoke about your personal life, about the heart breakup, because that it's really deep and really you can feel that song, the pain. That, but when it became how to rituals on a bank of familiar river. It's something that I think changes everything. And especially, like, I wanted to ask you, because the name is beautiful of the album. So what about the title?
Very long.
But it's beautiful. I can't get a tattoo about that. So what, I mean, if there is a meaning, like, about this title for you, like, what does it mean? Because,
so it was I'm really bad at dates. What are we, 2023 we are now? 2020, it was actually, it's more like a creek, and it was really near my house, and every time I felt anxious or overwhelmed, I would just go and sit by this creek and I'm like, what am I even doing? I'm not even going for a walk. I'm just sitting there and just like staring at this creek, and like the energy there was just like so healing. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just like, okay, go to this place, and it became like a ritual for me, just if I was ever feeling overwhelmed or anything. And because obviously in the beginning, I mean, still is uncertainty, but it's a very uncertain career choice. And, you know, like, especially before you start making any money off music, but you're not working, and you're just like, holy shit, like, am I really doing this? Like, So it's just that creek that's like one of my most sacred places to me. So it's just to honor that little
That's
spot
important.
by the creek.
You important
Yeah.
brought this up because I think as well, like rivers, especially the flowing water has such a powerful energy for healing that even if you're not into healing or spirituality, you can just
feel that.
you can just put in the hands of the water or just walking in the small even stream, you can perceive the energy.
Yes,
and that's something
absolutely.
that no one can deny it. I mean,
no,
the most
even
rational person. Yeah.
Even if you're not like spiritual or anything, but like, I was thinking about it. I was like, why is that? But say it's 500 years ago, and you're exploring a new place. I mean, you see running cool water, like that's safety, and that's water, and like that's life. Like, okay, shit, we're gonna be okay. This is clean, fresh water. That's So maybe even on a like in on a DNA level, you're like you connect with it. You're like, hey, we're okay now. We're safe.
Yeah, and as well, like I mean, talking about the album, it has beautiful song. That if we have to dig about every song, I think we will be until here.
Yeah.
Taking a couple of little bit, because of course my favorite are, like I was saying, all the Same Old Energy and Burn Your Village. Before speaking about that, I want to ask about Cup Runneth Over, because it was such a huge, song where you release it. So if, like, your point of view behind this song.
Yeah, absolutely. So Cup Runneth Over is like, it's so funny, I write songs and they kind of, when they're a good song for me, like they just flop. They just 10 minutes or half an hour, and I'm like, oh my god, here's the song, and then I have to read it and be like, what is this about, or like what inspired this? It's like therapy. But looking back, I think I can pinpoint it to a certain memory when I was like 15, 16, and I was at, I don't know if I've never said this, I don't know if I should say it, I don't want to put anyone on blast, but I used to be in like the Baptist church when I was a teenager, and I wasn't even like forced to. I went to like the youth groups and stuff, and I think it was a feeling of belonging and stuff, but there was a lot of interesting things. But I went to a Christian football camp, so I used to play soccer, but it was like a competition, but it's also like a Christian camp, and you do like worship and stuff. So. But yeah, and pretty much something happened where I was like, me and one of my good girlfriends on the team, we were like, learning about our sexuality and stuff, and someone told like the coach, and then we got in huge trouble, and we were not allowed to play in the final, and we were made to go and just sing like worship songs. And I remember just this intense guilt, just like it just felt like I was the dirtiest, most evil person, and I'm just like, wow, like that's a lot to put on like a teenager or
exactly, because that's
and just this
the Christianity mentality teach you.
Yeah, and like before that I was like, wow, like I don't know, I never saw it, I like that, but then just singing like, nothing but the blood of Jesus will make me like pure, and I'm just like, wow, like this is really like those two things being so entwined for me as awakenings. I don't know, it was important. A lot of the lyrics in Cup Runneth Over are very, kind of have religious iconography with Mother Mary and stuff, but then it's also about a first queer experience and stuff. So I think that inspired it, but obviously then I do write songs with the music video in my mind already. So so me and my director Shara Ardaleen, we've been friends since we were 7, so we grew up together, and I remember we sat down and we're like, we need to make a big cinematic music video.
Yeah, that's what about beautiful as well about you. You just this amazing cinematic video, which are
we love it. I growing up I wanted to be a movie director, so like it's like me getting to kind of like do both.
I do that.
But we were like, oh, okay, well, we love, obviously, like we've got to do something with knights and just the classic medieval like imagery, and we want it to be a queer love story between the head knight and the queen, and it's like a forbidden love. And I didn't have the song for it yet. She was like, well, do you have like, can you think of a song? And I'm like, oh, maybe this song, that song. But nothing that was like, okay, this is the song. So I actually went away and wrote Cup Runneth Over with already that story in my mind.
So
Yes.
like I said, the opposite,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's
The
amazing
visuals
because,
influence the
yeah,
song.
because
Yeah.
inside you already knew that. I mean, that you wanted to write about it, so it was already a
Mhm.
natural process. And about, of course, like we're saying, because I think as well, this is important as well, like a message that you're putting out there for, especially, it doesn't matter if we are on the 21st century or later. There is always this closed-minded mentality. So this is an important song that you are releasing, and that's as well like your music, apart of being such like like a message for the community of queer community, trans people, everyone in the world, women. It's you have a lot as well of power, like in being as well ritualistic music, like Burn Your Village. I mean, you are aware. I mean, how much power your music holds. That's It's not just music; it's just like really ritualistic music, and that's the case of Burn Your Village.
Yeah.
Because you talk about all these women, it's something that you think that, I mean, what is behind Burn Your Village? Because it can seem something from the past, but it's so recent as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, I mean, it's the sequel song to Same Old Energy,
Yeah,
and in Same Old Energy there was a
yeah,
lot
really
more
cool.
like holding back and fear, and like we were younger, and the New Village, I like to call it the big sister song to Same Old Energy, and it's the angrier big sister. She's, I say she's grown some teeth, and she's like, actually, fuck you, like you are doing all of this because you're scared of our power and our energy, and like if you've ever seen a guy in a room with like 40 girls and they're all talking and they have this like
Yeah,
high energy, they're scared. They're like, whoa, this is like, I can't even handle this.
exactly.
And like, I mean, obviously very, very, very influenced by, the history of the witch trials and stuff. And
Yeah,
also not only witches being burned, but just women with agency, with, with power over their sexuality and with any kind of
exactly.
status. And like, so in some ways things have not changed. And I don't know, I think I was just pissed off, and it's,
Yeah, no, but
yeah.
that's true, because that's as well like I mean, like you were saying before, your music video are cinematic, and Burn Your Village and Same Old Energy are something I think unique. And I think as well the music video behind Burn Your Village was like really hard to shoot. I mean, because it's like a story, it's like a whole movies from like historical movies. I mean, how was
Yeah,
the acting in
the
that
process.
video? Because you
I
have
mean,
all the actors there. It's beautiful.
it's so fun. I love making music videos. I mean, it's so much work. Like
Of course.
people don't, I think, realize that. They're like, oh, make another one like that. I'm like, I want to. If I could, I'd do a giant music video for every song. But A, I'm independent and it's very expensive, and B, like just the amount of like you got to cater for everyone. You got to have safety. Like you have to have bathrooms in the forest so that people, like, just so many details that people don't realize. But oh, it was so fun because like we actually, yeah, a lot of those people are just my friends and family. So like I don't know if anyone is an actor. Like we didn't like have to host auditions. We're just like, hey, like you like one of the guys is my drummer, and he came to the fitting for the costume, and then his girlfriend came along, and I looked at her and I was like, oh my gosh, you look so, like, can you be in it, please? Like you look so beautiful. Like so, and then obviously my three main girls that were in Same Old Energy.
Yeah.
They're Summer, Erica, and Ritu. They're amazing. And Summer, the one with the dark hair, she's my choreographer. So she's
The one that
she's
made the famous move of with the back up. Like,
yeah. I know, like
it's
so funny
everywhere on
because
TikTok. It's everywhere on TikTok.
I know, it's so crazy. It's so cool because we're just doing it, like we're just practicing in our living room. Like, is this gonna work? Yeah, that'll work. Or like this thing. I remember we just like it was me and we just tried it and we're like, oh, there's something very like symbolic about that. Like, shut up, like, but we're doing it like, oh, we have the power of it now. And we never thought that it would be like people would be like recreating and stuff. But it was so fun. I loved filming. It was a whirlwind, and that last scene when we're all dancing in the forest, it was so beautiful because a lot of those guys as well, they're not dancers, and it's new for them to just like be sensual and let go. But I just put on like a dance playlist, and I was like, just truly let go. Do not worry about the camera. Just like do whatever you do feels right. We didn't even really rehearse it. I'm just like, whatever. You can dance with people. You can dance with the tree. Like it was.
Moving a little bit about your power as a woman, I want to ask about the last song that really hit me was because it's Madeline. It's such, like touching song. It's almost like written with a feather. I don't know. It's really sweet.
That's cool.
And
Yeah.
like, a little bit of nostalgia as well, melancholia. So I want to ask about the meaning behind Madeline.
Yeah, Madeline. So I'll never forget. It was middle of winter, and I was sitting. I'm like story time. I was sitting on my chair, and I used to have this like paddle heater, like the square. There was a heater, and I would just like sit against it because it was like fucking cold. So I just like sit. It was really uncomfortable, but it was. I know it's a guitar. Like I think I have a photo because I filmed on a photo booth to like record it. And I could hear the ocean. It was dark and stormy, and I could hear the waves crashing, and I was like, whoa, like that's so cool. And then with a lot of songs, I'll come up with a story in my mind first. So I'm like, it's like a little book or a story. So I'm like, well, you know, Madeline. What's that?
You should write a book.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I have the patience. It's nice because you can just write short little. I have so much admiration for authors, like just the planning. Oh my gosh! But so yeah, it was literally just a story that came into my head of the scene of like a tavern, a dark tavern, and it's, you know, have you seen, you know, in Pirates of the Caribbean when he's trying to recruit new people, and I love the idea of like this line full of like people trying to get into the crew, and Madeline's this like really respected, feared captain, and you know she's beaten the odds and done it as a woman, and then there's this young girl who really wants to join and leave her like small village life behind, and she's like, look, like I'm strong, let me join. And Madeline's like, absolutely not, like I'm protecting you, but like, you don't want this life, you know. And then they go away, and then maybe in another lifetime, you know, Madeline's a cowboy, and she's got this like posse, and then the girl comes back, she's like, look, I've been training, I've been you know, starting fist fights and chopping wood, like I'm ready. And she's like, no. And then the third time she's like, you know, like, please let me join. And Madeline says, okay, I'll let you join, but like you're going to work twice as hard for half the pay, and like you're going to have to deflect their filthy comments and like really deal with a lot of shit, but I will raise you up to be my successor. So when I die or whatever, like you can be the new leader. So she finally like, yeah, it was just that story in my head. And then
that could be, you know, like the base for a movie or for as well. I mean, yes, much.
Thank you. Yeah,
so much talent, and that what I say all the time about you to everyone, and as well to you, is that you have so much power as a woman, and it's important for me as well asking you about since you are as well active in the social media, and because for you, what is it like? We used to call it like in spiritual world, but as well I think it's something that we should as well not put it too much in the spiritual world, the sacred feminine energy in your opinion, because many people know like spiritual people see something that connected with their nature, but that is as well people a little bit more, let's say Western world, they see it maybe just putting makeup, be more feminine. But in your opinion, in your point of view, let's say like that, what is like for you sacred feminine energy?
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that, because I guess I don't know if I do anything intentionally. I guess just like being true to your own path and trusting your gut, and it gets easier when you get older. I think like there's so much, you know, like I think you really know who you are when you're young, like a child, and then you go through all of like, you know, a good 5 to 10 years where you're just like trying to be so many things, and just trying to be likable, I think. Exactly. And then there's something about like getting a little older, you're like, oh, I've always known what I love and what I enjoy, and you kind of the strength to go back to that in a child and honor that, and like all the things I'm into, I've loved since day one, like dragons and horses and knights, and like it's all I played, you know, that's all I was interested in. Now like I guess
it's a work.
So just honor that, and like, and yeah, just trusting our gut, because I think a lot of times we don't trust our gut, and then we were right all along or something. I think there's a knowledge that's really ancient within us, and I don't know if that's feminine or but just
I think that as well your music answer to this question as well, because in your music, that for my point of view, you raise as well, you know, because sometimes they said there is an unbalanced feminine energy with masculine feminine energy. I think with your music you see kind of not only just one perspective, you just use as well the dark as well feminine energy. You created so much balance that for people that are in the healing world, or that they are healing, your music, I think, they can really align all this energy, because you can dance, you can just listen and chill, you can do I think the best things is dance anyway, though.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't even danced to my own music. I really should try it.
I did it when I wake up. It's my alarm clock. One time I put.
Oh, no way! What do
Yeah,
I wake up?
it's on the phone. It's like you have the proof, and I start dancing.
You're like
the old energy.
Oh yeah, nice.
You can not move with that music, and after when I put it on Alexa, and she will dance with me.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, I love rhythm and I love beats. Like,
that's something as well from your.
I love making, having a little glass of wine and making a fat beat is like the best. It's so sexy. Like, I always say to people, like, I really have. I don't know if I'm answering a question in the future, but I feel like I've really hacked into my cycle. So when it's like PMSy and you just deeply and like everything's kind of heavy and dramatic, that's when I write lyrics, because that's when you want to write poetry and like this feelings and stuff. Like, you don't want to make sexy beats, you just want to like write words and then when you're like fertile or like feeling sexy, like beats, like cool rhythms, like I want to dance, like fuck lyrics, but I do it always like this, and this is why I have to work alone, because imagine saying to a massive producer like I have to write because I have PMS, it's gonna be like, what the fuck?
It's what's in your mind, in your soul, in your art, in your life, in your experience, that you put it in your music, and it would be the same with someone else. I mean, maybe it would be good because you would have big producer or something, but it's your music, and that's why I think you are, one of the top musician out there. For, like I said, for me, and I think for what I saw on the social as well, and that's why I wanted to ask you, like you were speaking about beats. How this music and influence came from? I mean, which are your main influences?
Yeah, I get, this is a good question. I get asked a lot, and I still don't have a perfect answer because I don't know how other musicians work, but I assume some people listen to music they like and like, oh, I want to make something kind of like this. But I've always, I don't know, if someone's done something similar, I'm not interested. I'm like, it's boring, like. Like, I don't know, like if it sounds like something that already exists, they've already done it. Like, what am I doing? So, but in terms of influences, my mom always had on world music CDs. So she used to have these, I don't know if they still exist, they're called Putumayo Presents, and they have like different countries, like Brazil or Cuba or like, like Eastern Europe or something. So there was always a lot of world music and from all over the world.
That's beautiful.
And so that was always playing on like a CD.
You can do that in
just
music as well.
Yeah, like I don't know, from all over the world, I just love, like that makes you want to dance, like just oh my gosh, like. And then my dad loved like kind of like classic rock, a lot like Bob Dylan and stuff like that. So I remember just the first time listening to Bob Dylan and the way he writes stories, like his songs are like all like that's a story, and I'm like, and I would just sit there like as a kid and just be like, well, it's like I'm reading a book. So maybe those two things are kind of mixed, but
That's so you basically said your influences.
There we go. Thank you. I figured it out.
I'm proud of that. And of course,
you helped me figure it out.
about your last and super cool song, "Thief I'm Wild." I don't know the correct pronunciation, so please tell me to you.
It's pretty good.
So what about this song? Because it's beautiful, and as well the video clip. It's
so I kind of just wanted to make like a modern fairy tale kind of, and this kind of like repetition chant like of the lyrics was kind of getting more and more hectic. I just had this scene of this image in my mind of like you're just walking through the forest and then you hear like the song in the distance and you follow it and it gets more and more intense and more layers, and suddenly you're dizzy and you're dancing in this like fairy rave, and then when you finish 600 years have passed and you're like, holy shit, I've just got sucked into a fairy ring. So that was just kind of the image for that. And I wanted the music video to feel like an old Barbie movie from like the 2000s and mixed with like the early Skyrim game. So if you were to like put those in a blender and like that animation that we grew up with, and it's a little bit like a little bit cursed, like you're like, oh, it's a bit like glitchy, but it's like really nostalgic to us,
Yeah, but it's something that makes Kiki Rockwell unique. I don't know. I'm gonna put your music. I'm really you have no idea, really. I think that you did some spells on me. I don't know, really.
This is great for my confidence. Thank you.
Really,
a great way to start a Tuesday morning.
There was one of your friends that is not here that he was driving the car like 1 hour every weekend, and your music was all the time in the car.
It's like, oh my
time in the car, and I don't, because I needed to put in myself, like in a positive and feeling sexy and feeling confident.
I'm so glad.
It's amazing. That's what your music does, and that's what
that is the best thing. If my music can make people feel confident and in touch with something, like, then it's more than just music. Hopefully, it's something that helps people. That sounds so cheesy, but you know what I mean.
That's why it's important for me as well doing this interview, because a lot of people knows you, but there are as well, like, for, let's say, our type of our crowd, people that follow us, they maybe don't know, and you are fucking fitting these people as well, because there are musicians that are so with the same energy, kind of, that I think, I don't know, I feel like I don't know, that there is a festival in Norway called Midgardsblot. It's all about fucking and fighting, but there's a lot of sacred feminine energy there. You would be perfect there. I think.
I'd love
to. You love Midgardsblot? Let's go together.
I need to. I wish I wasn't so freaking far. Like it's. I love it. I love it here, but like here's you, and we're like.
Yeah, I know.
35-hour flight, but I will get there eventually.
No.
Absolutely.
I will bring you there. That's my promise.
Oh, please.
Because
okay, let's do it.
You deserve to be there. Because
I would.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
I would love to.
It to all the energy that is there, because it's sacred ground. It's a beautiful field. It's perfect. And
please.
I think
I'll go with you. Let's go.
Take it.
When is it? I'm not joking.
Me neither. And she will be there as well. Lucia will be there as well. All
perfect. Oh my gosh.
And I was just to ask if you want to just say a message to all those women that lack of confidence, feel insecure, maybe be a lot, because we are all, I think a lot of us, we're really introverts, because we are doing an interview like that, maybe doing in like face to face or on a show, it would be different. Maybe we will be more shy or introverted as well. So like a message from you will be really helpful for especially the young girls. That's what
well, I mean, I was anxious almost my whole life. Like sometimes I couldn't even finish a project because I didn't want to judge it myself, and I just think that, I don't know, for a sensitive person, that's part of growing up. And just I always say this to like my younger sister or like younger friends. I'm like, just something happens when you turn 24 or 25, you just like you just like suddenly stop giving so much of a shit, and you're like, I don't know, you just come home to yourself, and like, so don't worry, don't be like, why am I so anxious, why am I so nervous? Like that will change. Like you will come home to yourself. Like it's just, I mean, I had it, and like I probably seem real confident and stuff, but like no one doesn't go through some shit to come out truly themselves. So just don't stress. Like there's so much time. I think people are like 19. They're like, oh my god, I don't know what I should do, and I'm like, just trust your path, and also try things. Try all the things you're into, and like trust your gut. Like I think we are born knowing what we love and what we're meant to do. So just really let it guide you.
Being more involved in the interview. So it was a really pleasure for me and an honor to make this interview with you, really with all my heart, saying really positive energy.
This is great. This is the best interview I've ever done. So
thank you.
No, I mean that. It's such good vibes.
I'm joining them, bringing him Norway.
Please, I will pack my bag. I have a Viking sword, so.
We are all anxious, so I'm anxious. She's anxious. So let's try to do the club.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so nice to meet you both.
For me too. And I will let you know about today's interview, because I will tag you and everywhere. I mean, I'll tag you all the time, like everything, even when I wake up.
Perfect.
Your songs are like even on my breakfast fit perfectly. Like like the berries and things. When we go to the forest, like for a Kiki Rockwell song. It's perfect.
I will legit join you. I love being at the forest, but
so, next time we will go to the forest, you will be with us in our soul.
Absolutely. If you look
Okay.
behind you, you'll just see me like running through the trees.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You're like, ah.
Thank you so much, Kiki.
Thank you so much.
Huge hug from me, Ada, and Lucia. You are amazing.
Ciao.
Thank you so
Ciao,
much.
Bella.
Beautiful.
Thank
So,
you.
and do this more amazing music. I need it. Don't
I
forget.
will. Trust
I
me.
need that.
There's a lot coming.
Amazing.
Yeah. All right. Mwah. Ciao. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.